Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, everybody? Let's see what we have. Let me type in the chat. Let me make sure I've got everything. I'm not sure how many folks we've got. Looks like we got 6 folks watching. Just let me know if you can hear and see me. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Type in the chat, give me a thumbs up, do something to let me know that you can hear and see me okay. It looks like my volume's working. It looks like my video is good. Can somebody, and I know that with YouTube, there's a little bit of delay. Okay, Casey, you can hear fine. Good. So this is a little different than what we've done in the past and some of maybe your other courses. So I'm trying for the first time ever to do all the lessons and even the live streams on YouTube. So let me go ahead, and it is noon. I want to respect your time, so let me go ahead and just welcome everybody. This is the summer session of sports nutrition, and I'm including my undergraduate and graduate sports nutrition students in these lives and on this page. So just know that as we go through, the goal of today is to go over the syllabus, to answer any questions that you might have around what you've looked at so far, and we'll get into it. So I'm Dr. Mayo. I've been teaching at UCA for probably 7-8 years. This is my favorite class to teach because it combines my expertise as a exercise physiologist. My PhD is in exercise physiology, but I'm also a registered dietitian, and it blends my passion for sport and nutrition, and I'm also an athlete, and you'll see that a lot as we go through this semester. So I'm excited that everybody's here, and just know that the way this class is going to work is I will be sending out regular announcements to make sure we're all on board. Hopefully you saw my announcement. I even put one out before class started. For some reason in Blackboard, they did not want us to open this class before this morning. So you just probably were allowed to access the material inside the class now, or inside Blackboard. So just know the way this is going to work is that all of the training lessons will be on YouTube here. It'll be right here, easily to access for you. So it's not going to be a problem. I know in the past I've had students that have come to me and said that, hey, Blackboard on your phone, because I know a lot of students are using their phone. It's really hard to navigate. Anybody with me on that? And so just know that I'm going to put all the training lessons related to the content in here in YouTube. And I've organized these as playlists. So hopefully they're going to be easy. Like right now, all you'll see are the 3 playlists for the first 3 chapters. So that's what you should be able to see. And inside Blackboard, I've linked that so that you can link to the specific video, or you can link to the specific playlist. So I think I've made it pretty easy, and we'll make it pretty easy to navigate. That way you can watch it anywhere you want to. All right. Anybody have trouble with the link? I'm just curious. Anybody watching right now? Anybody have trouble with the link, or was it pretty easy? Hopefully I'm going to make things, and that's what I want to do, and I do in all my classes, is to communicate, to make sure that we're all on the same page. I don't want you confused. Just know that this, as we go through, this is a 5-week class. So it is going to be intense, and we will be going through, basically 10, 11 chapters within a matter of 5 weeks. But I think it's manageable, okay? Because I won't overload you, but we will be busy throughout the semester. So how many of you right now have downloaded the syllabus? So here's what I ask you to do. Download the syllabus, whether you're in my undergraduate or graduate class, download it and have it ready. And if you can print it out, that's even better. I'm kind of old school and I like mine printed. But what I'm going to try to do is I've got my syllabus. Let's see if I can pull this up and I can share my screen. Let's see if I can do that real quick. And so what you should be seeing right now is, and again, this is new for me here. Let me pull this back up. So in the chat, I know I've got some of you on here live. Type in the chat. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Can you see the sharing of the syllabus? And I know there's a little bit of delay, so I will let y'all. Okay, yeah. Good, good. Several of you say, give me a thumbs up. Good deal. All right, so let's walk through this syllabus together. And as I go through, what you should see, so at the top, obviously, this is the CRN, the course. And if you're in the grad class, this is going to be a little different. But just know that, yeah, this is going to be the same as far as the top goes. And this is an online class. Here's my phone number, but here's the deal, y'all. I will not be in the office this term because this is an online class. I'm actually going to be traveling. This is something just to keep in mind. I'm going to be traveling actually today, and I'm leaving, and the entire online class, I will be in California. So escaping the heat of Arkansas, which right now, if you're here in Arkansas, and especially in Conway, you know, if you look outside, it's rainy and nasty. And so we're getting on a plane later. But if you look, so the office hours, the way we'll do this is a couple times a week. We'll jump on a live call like this. I will be able to answer your questions. I'll probably do some teaching as well. And just know that everything related to the group calls will be on YouTube. But if you want to set up a one-on-one call with me, if you want to ask specific questions that maybe, you know, in between times, or you just have a certain question or things you're struggling with, we can always jump on a Zoom call and we'll do a one-on-one call with you that way too. So you'll see in Blackboard, there's in the menu, there's a link that says one-on-one calls. So we can do that too. All right. So just know that. So what description of the course? Yeah, we're looking at the nutritional needs for exercising individuals. We focus on wellness, but we also, and I probably should have put this in there, we're really focused too on athletes, right? Whether you're a recreational athlete, whether you're a college athlete, and just as individuals who are trying to continue to improve their health over time, that's what we're really looking at. And it's particularly like recreational athletes, because in most cases, whether you're a nutrition student or a exercise science or athletic training student, you're going to be working with older recreational type athletes. Some of you may be working with college or maybe professionals, but that's the focus. And if you look at the textbook, I don't have it in front of me right now, and this may be, this should be the latest edition, and I don't have it like in here in YouTube, but in Blackboard, you'll see it at the top. It's the 5th edition. It came out a couple years ago. I forgot what is on the front of that book. I can't remember. There's a couple of different pictures and images at the top. But and if you had an older edition, that would probably work too, to be quite honest. But the latest edition is the 5th edition by Dunford and Dole. And so, yes, technology, what are you going to need for the class? Well, you're going to need to be able to access YouTube. You're going to need to be able to access Blackboard. You're going to need to be able to access Respondus lockdown browser that we'll use for our tests. We won't use it for quizzes, but we will use it for our tests. You'll need a calculator in here. Obviously access to stuff like Microsoft Word, because we will be doing assignments and things as well. So let's look at the course objectives. Describe the key principles of exercise training. And essentially what we're doing here is in the first and I break these up into modules, is that the first module, the first chapter is around nutrition and exercise basics. And if I had you in a face-to-face class, I would ask, how many students are nutrition students? And then how many students are, exercise science? What I find is that the nutrition students, they have the nutrition piece down, but they don't understand the exercise. They don't understand the sports. They don't understand the requirements of the sports. How long a round is in boxing, or how long a half is in soccer. Nutrition students have a tendency not to know those types of things. And then my exercise science students, they know the exercise piece, but they don't know the nutrition. So we're going to combine that here. Now, as you go through the objectives, yes, we're going to look at how to interpret, evaluate some literature in here. We're going to talk about counseling techniques. We're going to do some things towards the end of the semester where we've got a case study for my undergraduates and an athlete profile for my grad students. But essentially the first module is nutrition and exercise basics. Then we get into energy expenditure, and then we get into energy systems, and that's what you see here in the objective 5. List the 3 energy systems of the body and outline the functional characteristics. If you've had, for my exercise science students, if you've had exercise physiology, then you're probably going to have a pretty decent foundation on the 3 energy systems and what sport uses these energy systems. And so we're going to calculate energy needs for athletes. We're going to then get into the second test will be more related to the recommendations. And when we get into basically it's going to be the recommendations of carbohydrate, fat, protein before, during, and after exercise. This is not only for strength and power sports, but also for endurance sports. So we'll dive into that. We'll also talk about hydration, and that's what you see here in Objective 12, fluid and electrolyte requirements for athletes and for general exercises. And then we'll get into looking at vitamins and minerals, which is up here in 9. And here's what you need to know about vitamins and minerals. They don't really improve performance. The only time that they might improve performance is if if there's a deficiency. Okay. So just know that. All right. And then we will get into meal planning. That's right. We will get into meal planning towards the end and body composition. So everybody good with that? That's kind of the outline. Yeah. So are we good? Those folks that are watching, are you okay with that? Everybody see that just fine? Okay. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. All right. So then probably the most important thing that you're most interested in learning and understanding today is how are you going to get graded in here, right? How are we going to evaluate students? So there are 7 major assignments worth 20 points each. And so as we walk through, and what I've tried to do here, I've done this in Blackboard and I've done this in the syllabus. If you go into Blackboard and you click on, hopefully, and again, anytime that something's not working like you think it should, y'all, be sure to reach out to me, because sometimes I don't see Blackboard like students do. And so be sure to let me know, like what you should see if you click on in Blackboard calendars with due dates. It should show you when pretty much everything is due in here. Okay. It should show you. The only thing that what I can remember that I don't have listed are the times I'm going live during the week that we're going to have some office hours calls and do some teaching in here. Okay. But everything else, like you can see, assignment 1 is due 6/9. Assignment 2 is due 6/13. Assignment 3 is due 6/18. Right. So I'm giving you the dates, and normally what I'm going to do on most of these dates, unless specifies otherwise, is that they're usually due at midnight. I usually have students work and just set the cutoff to midnight on this. And then we have fluid calculations assignment, a meal planning assignment, and then a target body weight calculation assignment. So that's the 7 assignments. Those are the due dates. And then we have quizzes. Now, quizzes are a little different. The goal of the quiz is for you to get into the material, study the material, be familiar with it, and basically to not prevent procrastination, essentially, is what I do with these quizzes. So what that means is, if you can read this here, if you can see it, it says we've got quizzes, and there's a 30-minute time limit, but it's open book. And so I'll say it again, it's open book, and you get 2 attempts to take the quiz. And I've got this set up so it records the highest score. So what's your first quiz? Well, I put this because I thought that you would be able to access Blackboard sooner. Because I always like to do this. I have a syllabus quiz. That's your first quiz. And it's due tomorrow night, which is, tomorrow night at midnight. And I could even back that up to Wednesday, because I know it's kind of tight for some of you because we just opened the shell this morning. But on tomorrow night at midnight, and like I said, I may move that to the 5th. I may send an announcement out and just say, hey, we're going to move that one day. But try to get that done. But it's just a syllabus quiz. It's basically, if you watch this video, if you're watching this now live or you're on the replay, you should be able to answer these questions because we're going through everything that you need. But so like for the online quizzes, the goal of the online quiz is it's open book. It's to prevent procrastination and get you to studying studying the material. So, which will probably be a question on the quiz. But then we also have quizzes for every single chapter: 1, 2, 3 for module 1, 4, 5, 6 for module 2, and then 7. And I combine 8 and 9 because those are vitamins and minerals into one. And then there's 10 is meal planning and 11 is body composition. So there will be quizzes, and those, here are the due dates. So I used to turn, like when we got into chapter 1, I would turn 1 on and then I'd turn it off, and then I'd turn 2 on and turn it off. But I found that some students like to, and you can type in the chat if that type yes, if this is you use quizzes to study towards the end as we get closer to an exam, and that's fine. But the key is you cannot forget to take these quizzes, because as with any of these, Bailey says she does that. So if you want to wait till the end, that's fine. But just know this: do not miss a quiz, because you will get a 0 if the clock strikes midnight, let's say on June 13th. Because what ends up happening is I usually have the quizzes due kind of the night before the exam, and there's usually some overlap. And I'll have to look at the course schedule here in a minute. But essentially, like I'll open the first test probably around noon on June 13th, and it'll be open till June 14th at midnight, if that makes sense. And so I give you that till midnight on June 13th to get those quizzes done, because if and just the goal is to take the quizzes before you take the test, right? So I usually will have some overlap in the test, but the quizzes will always be due the night before the day of the exam, essentially. And so then June 23rd is going to be, and I got June 23rd. Okay, there you go. My first mistake here. Anybody? Did you catch that? Who caught it? And then July 4th. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be a challenge for us, because July 4th, the last day of class, is July 5th. Normally, there's a couple of extra days in there. I think it must be the way the week falls. But our final is on July 5th, like the day after. Usually there's like the 4th, and we take it a little easier around that time. And then but we don't think we can do that this term, because the 5th is the last day. So that's a little different too. All right. Just know I'm on your team. We'll do the best we can, and we'll look at the schedule. And the biggest thing is there's no surprises here. You will also do, this is a little bit of a change too, is that I used to have both my undergraduate and graduate students do what I call athlete profile. But what I'm going to do this semester, and I'm going to change things up, is I'm going to start doing case studies instead of the profile for my undergraduate students. Okay. Now this profile will be due, or this case study, excuse me, for the undergraduates, and the profile for the grad students will be due on July 3rd, okay, at midnight. So I know, people like to have a good time on the 4th, and we'll do that if you can get your work done, but there's just a lot to be covered because the last day of class is the 5th. All right. So it's a case study. So it'll be more direct question and answer than it will be you picking a subject. And so for my grad students, there will be a module in Blackboard when it's time. It's a little early, but when it's time later, maybe give it a week or so, I'll open up that athlete profile. But basically, it's doing everything that we're doing in the class. And then, yes, we do have exams. And these exams, we have 2 100-point exams, and we have one comprehensive 150-point exam. And the way this works is that, the final comprehensive exam, 50% of it will be from the last bit of material, because you probably noticed that the last bit of material from chapter 7 on, that's quite a bit. So that'll make up half of the test for test 3, and then the other half will come from material from the first couple of tests. Okay, be mixed in there. And for that, usually for a regular test, we'll just have like an hour and 15 minutes. Like if you were to come, this was a face-to-face class, like a Tuesday, Thursday, like I typically teach, I usually will do an hour and 15 minutes for that test. And most students have no trouble getting through that in an hour and 15. Now, but for a final, we'll give you a little extra time. Most finals are 2 hours, so that's what we'll do. Okay, so just know that. And like I said, you've got a small window. I don't know why it worked out this way, but July 5th is when we'll take that comprehensive final, and we'll open it because it is the 4th. So I'm not going to have you, other than finish up quizzes if you need to do that, but to take the exam, you got 1 day to take it. Okay, 1 day to take it. Grading scale. Hey, Blackboard does the work for me. Then from there, we do round up, but there's some caveats to that. We'll get into that in just a minute. All right. Yep, you need to use Blackboard. If you do have trouble for some reason, I don't know that I can help you with Blackboard. I can maybe reset some things or do some things on my end, but always the help desk, those folks are really great to support you in what they're doing. So just know that you could always reach out to the help desk, and there's their number. We talked already in here about how we're going to use YouTube and Zoom. All of the class lessons will be on YouTube, and then the Zoom one-on-one. If you need to set something up with me, you're like, hey, Dr. Mayo, I don't understand how to do these calculations. I'm struggling. Let's hop on a call. I'm happy to do that to help you out. Okay. So just know that. Everybody good on how that's going to work. YouTube for the training lessons, the videos, Zoom for one-on-one with me. All right. And then just know that I don't sit around checking my email like 5 times a day. I don't walk around, even though I do have my phone with me, I'm not checking email like 24/7. I usually try to check it a couple times a day, just to stay organized and, not to go down the rabbit hole of all of that. So just know, if you do email me, give me 24 hours and I will get back with you. Here's some communication tips along the way. Okay. So I'll let you read through that. Grading policy, again, missing assignments, missing exams, that's going to be a problem. And I'll just be honest, now that we're 20 minutes into the live session, that I had some trouble this spring with several students. I mean, this was a face-to-face class, but I had trouble with students that had missed exams and then wanted to try to make it up at the very end. I'm not ashamed or hiding it at all. You just need to take care of your business. I mean, that's the bottom line. I'm a nice guy. I try to lean towards the side of helping students out and being able to work with me, but I don't like to be taken advantage of. And last semester, and I'll just throw this out there, I felt like I was taken advantage of by some students, and that's not happening again for sure. So just know, if you're not missing, there needs to be reason that and we'll look at this later on, you're missing an assignment or you're missing an exam. And what I usually do is, if you miss something and the deadline passes, and I even do this in my face-to-face classes, I put a 0 in the grade book. So that what that does is that allows you to see that and be like, oh, I was there, I did that. Maybe it was a mistake on my part. So come to me. So just know that if you miss something, you're going to get a 0 in the grade book, whether it was excused absence or not. Okay. So that's why you want to wait to the very end to take exams and do that, like exams especially, because sometimes stuff can happen. I've got these exams set to auto submit at midnight. If you're still taking the exam at midnight, it's probably going to auto submit whatever grades you have. So just know that. All right, just want to make sure you're aware. So this little section here on missed assignments, it goes along with exams too, because it basically gives you, and this is from the handbook. There are 3 legitimate reasons or excused absences, right? University excused absence, a death in the family, or you're severely ill. And with all of these, you need documentation. Okay, you need to send something to me. Your coach needs to send something to me, or whatever you're doing. You need to get a note from the health clinic, or if if there's a death, you need to get the obituary. You need to get something to prove that, hey, I'm missing this for legitimate excuse. And then for quizzes, I mean, that these quizzes are due. It's up to you to get them done. And I've had students that just, for some reason, whatever reason, they were distracted and they just didn't take the quizzes. Because once we take our exam from exam 1, we're moving on to this next material. We're moving to the next material. All right. Let's see what we got. Academic integrity. I mean, I'm going to let you read through this. And like I said, I had challenges with this in the spring. And I'm still actually dealing with some of those challenges right now. But you know what? Just do the best you can. And this is, I told those students this, and I'm going to tell y'all this: do the best you can in class and feel good about your work. If you're putting your best foot forward and you're putting effort in, you're not going to have a problem. Okay. I'm not saying the class is easy. I'm just saying you're not going to have a problem getting work done, and feeling good about doing the best you can. And because that's all you can do, right? I think too many students tie their self-worth to their grades, and that's a problem. So do the best you can, feel good about it. And, I give you plenty of assignments and online quizzes and all of this so that it helps boost your grade, even if you're maybe not the best test taker. But I will not, like I said, I don't like to be taken advantage of. And in the spring, there were some students that tried to take advantage of me, and I really didn't let them get away with it. So, cheating. I mean, you just got to do your own work. That's the bottom line. It's unfair, and it takes away from your learning when you're just copying something. I mean, I know I'm not oblivious to other students that you may know that have had this class before, or there's ChatGPT or whatever, it's like, I get that. But just know if something is pretty obvious that you didn't do your own work, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. Now, if there is some type of learning challenge that you have, I think I've even received a couple of these already as we begin this semester. So just know you're going to get extra time on a test. I haven't looked at them all, but whatever it is, we're going to accommodate you for sure. And the whole, if you haven't done your paperwork yet, that's what happens, right? You go to disability services, they accommodations, I guess is what they're called, Office of Accommodations. They fill out the paperwork, they send it to me. Okay, we go from there. At the end, you'll have an opportunity to take a course evaluation. Ultimately, some faculty will give points for this. I don't. So I would love for you to fill out evaluation, but I'm not going to give you extra credit for that. Okay. Because just as I told you a minute ago, to do the best you can, I try to do the very best I can to teach, to make the class run smoothly, to communicate, all the things. I try to do the best I can. So I don't, good evaluation, poor evaluation, I'm okay with that. I'm not tying my self-worth to my evaluations because I'm doing the best I can. Title IX, inclement weather. This is a good thing. Our online classes shouldn't have to deal with online or inclement weather for our online classes. That's a positive thing. And then the academic calendar, just know that it's listed in there. And I don't think we have any times we're going to miss until we get to the 4th of July. So we can look at that. Yep. Finals are scheduled 4th of July. And then we get into the course schedule. So this is kind of how it breaks down. If you look at this, we've got the 3rd and 4th, we got the 5th and 7th here. So we're going to spend a couple of days on chapter 1, and then we're moving on to chapter 2, and we'll spend some time in chapter 3 on energy expenditure. And you can look at the calendar, and this may not be exactly week 1, week 2, maybe this is in between here. But bottom line is, if you look over to the right, you're going to see, now you'll always see like, hey, quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3, but it doesn't say they're due. They're due on the 13th, right? They're due on the 13th. But your energy expenditure calculations assignment, your energy systems chart assignment, those are due at specific times as well, and they were listed above. So, and then the test, like I said, for test 1, we're opening that bad boy up June 13th, probably around noon. So I'll give you a day and a half. I like to give students flexibility because I know you're working, I know you're busy doing things. So we give you a couple of days there to get that done. And then we start to move on to the next chapter. And there's only 5 weeks, so this moves fast. Then we get into carbohydrate. There's a carbohydrate case study. I didn't put 20 points there, but there are 20 points there. I guess I can do that. I wonder if I do this. Does it show? I guess it does. Yeah. Real time. All right. So let's see, 20 points. So these are 20-point assignments. These are the nitty-gritty when we start pulling out the calculator. Well, we pull out the calculator for energy expenditure calculations too. But when we start looking at the recommendations around exercise, how much carb do you need? How much protein do you need? And then we have fat. Fat's the last chapter there. And again, what we need to know is, hey, you're using it as fuel during some of your exercise bouts if you're doing aerobic exercise. But as far as eating goes, it's not recommended to eat a bunch of fat before or even during exercise because it's not gonna help. Okay. And then we have our second test, which is on the 23rd and 24th. Okay. 23rd and 24th, kind of the same scenario. I don't know exactly what the dates, what those look like. Let's see. I guess I can pull my little calendar up. I don't know if y'all will see that or not, but 23rd and 24th. Yes. So this is on a Sunday and a Monday. It just happens. This is how it falls. So I'll probably open it up Sunday at noon, and you got till Monday, the 24th, till midnight to take it. Okay. Because I know some people, the weekend is actually better. So I'll open that up, but it just happened. That's how it fell. And then the last section here, we'll get into chapter 7. There's a fluid calculations assignment. We got vitamins and minerals. We got meal planning. We got energy balance and body composition. And then we got a meal planning assignment. We got a target body weight assignment. And then again, chapter quizzes for all these. So, and then we have our final exam. Your case study will be due, and I think I've already said this and above, but like the case study and the athlete profile will be due July 3rd. That'll give me time. I'm going to be scrambling too to get these graded. I like to get the assignments and the case studies and profiles done so that when you sit down and get ready to take this test, you know exactly where you stand in the class. Okay. So this is me trying to go back one more time to list where, okay, I've even listed them by modules here, and hopefully all these dates are correct. They should be, but how all these kind of fall into place. Yep. And so there you go. All deadlines for quizzes, assignments, exams are at midnight. And I try to do my best to make sure that that's clear and communicated. And if you have questions, please reach out. And the best way to reach out is through my Gmail, right? It's jmayo@uca.edu. That's how you're going to reach me. I do not check the emails in Blackboard. So don't email me through Blackboard. All right. And so what you'll also see, because I have everything for you, is all the assignments are attached to the syllabus. I know, what is this, like a 20-page syllabus plus, but all the assignments are attached. And you don't have to copy these because I will have these in Blackboard for you. Everybody tracking with me? I'll have these in Blackboard for you. You'll just download them, do the work, and upload them back to Blackboard. So all the assignments, quizzes, those will be done in Blackboard. The only thing that's really on YouTube is like the trainings and the lessons. I just thought that would be easier to access than trying to navigate Blackboard videos on your phone. I do that sometimes too when I'm trying to, I'm traveling somewhere and I'm trying to get information from Blackboard. It's just really hard on my phone to try to get that done. So yeah, so that's what you have, and that's just what the rest of this syllabus, which the other half is essentially me giving you the assignments ahead of time. And if you wanted to work ahead, you could a little bit, but I don't like you working ahead. You know, we're going to work on the first 3 chapters, and then we're going to have a test, and we're going to move forward. So I'm going to stop sharing questions, comments. The biggest thing is, again, to don't wait around, get started, get that syllabus, go through it. You can have it out when you're going through the syllabus quiz to take that. Just know that you get, I think with the syllabus quiz even, I've given you unlimited attempts. So my point is you should earn maximum points for all these assignments. And I'm sorry, all these quizzes, because it's open book. Now for the exam, you will use Respondus Lockdown Browser. You will, have to have a webcam and show your area and do all the things. But yeah. Questions, comments. And one of the things I started down this road about rounding. I do. So if you end up with a 89.5, you've done your work as you were asked to do in class. Hey, no question, we're rounding you up. I had a situation, I've alluded to this several times already, but I have a situation in the spring where I don't feel good. I felt like I was taken advantage of. So even though the student was close, I didn't round up. So just know that that's at my discretion. But in most cases, I do, unless there's some kind of crazy circumstances. But again, if you have questions, always reach out. Tell me, we got several students on. Do we have any questions? Type them in the chat. Let me know. And I know there's a little bit of a delay. What do you think about this? Is this going to work? YouTube? And you can email me too if you'd rather do that. I used to do YouTube. And I mean, how many of you were around years ago when I started doing these lives a long time ago? I was kind of ahead of the game on some of this, and everybody's caught up. I was doing something they called them Google Hangouts. Anybody ever heard of a Google Hangout? That's what I was doing on YouTube. It was Google Hangout. All right. I think that's it. I would like to go ahead and start teaching. That's what I would typically do, is spend, half an hour or so on the syllabus, making sure we're on the same page. And then I would jump into chapter 1. But I'm going to let you do that on your own. Okay. Yeah, it should work well. Giselle, is that how you say that? That's awesome. Yep. Again, I'm here for you. I'm your biggest advocate. And here's the good news. Right now, everybody's got an A in this class. Everybody has an A. It's up to you to keep it. And I want you to keep it. But ultimately, this is a senior level class, and it is challenging. And in particular, the tests are challenging because I do want to test your knowledge. It doesn't do you any good. And even, I've had students in some of my grad classes be like, oh, is this an open book test? It's like, no, it's not. Because we want to test your knowledge, not test how quickly you can scan through the textbook to find the answers. Okay. Just know I'm rooting for you, and I'm going to over communicate in the summer just because I think that sometimes we need that and everybody's busy. So right now, let's see what we can do to get that syllabus quiz done by tomorrow night at midnight. And I may have to push it because I know Blackboard just opened up this morning, so that could be a problem. All right. Anybody going once, going twice? Give me a thumbs up for all of you that are on, or give me something so that you're good, and then we'll end it. Give me a yes, give me a good, give me a thumbs up, give me something, and we'll end it, and we'll call it. And I'm guessing our next live that I will do, and I'll put this out, and I'll send out an announcement. Peyton says, thumbs up, thank you, you guys. All right, perfect. I'm guessing I will come back on Wednesday, because I even thought about doing some teaching during the semester. And here's another thing too that's coming. I haven't done this yet, because in the fall, not last semester, but a couple semesters ago, I taught this all online. Like I traveled to California, like I'm getting ready to do, but I taught the whole class through Zoom online. So I've got that material too. What you're going to find in YouTube is these are videos that I did some time ago, but they're chopped up into small pieces. So they're not like a whole hour of training. What I've got recorded, and I'll probably put this in a whole separate playlist. It'll be like live sessions or something. And it'll be me teaching on Zoom, but it's like at an hour a time, like we're having a regular class. So that's great if you want to start by watching the videos on YouTube and then jump into the little live sessions if you want to. If you want to just go to the live sessions, I will probably just put the live sessions related to the first 3 chapters up, and then we'll just go from there as we release go to the next test and the third test. Again, I don't like to put all of it out there at once. It's just a lot. So, and that's all you need to focus on, right? Because it can get overwhelming when you say, oh, we're going to do all this in 5 weeks. It's just about taking those, little small steps, step by step, okay, bit by bit. So the first thing you need to do, get the syllabus so you can have access to it and take the syllabus quiz. Then we need to start worrying about, okay, let's jump into nutrition basics. And it's going to be fun because, again, this is my favorite class to teach. And I'm an athlete too, so I can share a lot of things. And you'll see some of that if you watch some of the live sessions that I did in the fall. So it's going to be fun. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you out and help you learn sports nutrition. Sports nutrition is just a growing area, especially now, even at the college level with all the NIL stuff and the amount of money that these athletes are making. Nowadays, some of these athletes are probably making so much money in college that they could hire someone to help them with their sports nutrition. So that just adds another extra layer of people that you could actually work with. So just know that sports nutrition, and you're talking about high school athletes, you're talking about recreational athletes, and you'll see some videos on this channel too that don't necessarily relate to the sports nutrition and the education piece. It's just me having some fun with the endurance stuff, because that's what I do. And we can get into all that later. I don't want to hold you at this point. We've talked about the syllabus. We have our marching orders for what's coming up in the next week. We'll probably, and I'll send out an announcement, probably go live again, maybe noon Central Standard Time, like we did this time, maybe on Wednesday or Thursday, just to maybe go through the first chapter and talk a little bit about it and answer any questions that you might have. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to end the stream and see you soon. Reach out if you have questions. Bye.